cautiously step inside, ready for any kind of trick or trap. But what you see makes you forget your trepidation. Before you is an underground railway platform with a dark tunnel leading off in either direction. This, however, is not what stops you in your tracks. The car currently parked on the platform, not 20 meters away, is carrying a strange and hulking piece of artillery. Yes, there can be no doubt. This is the famed railgun, the exact same device you studied back at Atomrpg. The legendary railgun is secretly anchored by steel cables to a specially designed car of an underground train. Hopefully it's still in working order. You're guessing it must be, given that the other tech you stumbled on in the bunker is more or less operational. As you're pondering the matter, the clatter of footsteps makes you spin about. Soldiers clad in special armor enter the underground station. One of them doffs his helmet, Minister Voronin himself. It seems he's the leader of this detachment. His people take up strategic positions as you wait, studying their every movement. Astonishing, the old man whispers, bewitched by what he's seeing. Without taking his eyes off the surrounding technology, the Minister of Defense says, "I was informed you had successfully accessed the bunker, so I decided to break from the Battle of Trudograd for a few minutes." He finally turns as if noticing you for the first time. A true wonder to behold, yes. It was built to last for centuries. No, not really. Voronin exchanges a quick glance with his subordinates and assumes a creepily benevolent tone. A question, if I may. What do you need this huge cannon for? It has something to do with the theoretical menace posed by the Hesperus star, correct? So I've heard. And where did you get this information about the Hesperus star? Voronin lowers his gaze and grimly adds, "I'm not saying it's impossible, but the probability of this space rock colliding with a planet is vanishingly small." I'm sorry, did you say a sentient mushroom? Voronin looks skeptical. You haven't convinced him of anything. Old man Hexagen chimes in, as helpful as ever. That's right, Comrade Minister. The collective mushroom intelligence that once ruled the sect beneath the streets of Krasna's nominee told us. You've read my book, haven't you? Everything is explained in the penultimate chapter. Yes, we know this already from your radio communications. It's just... He pauses to search for the right words. The railgun is a dangerous weapon, yet you somehow managed to get to it, even in this nigh impenetrable bunker. You really think no warlord out there could steal it back from Atom? Plus, Voronin hesitates again before continuing in a steely voice. How can you be so sure that some corrupt member of your organization won't use the railgun for his own selfish goals? That's what you say. However, first of all, what makes you so sure that the danger to Earth is even real? Second, how do you know the railgun can counter it? And last, what if some third party steals it from Atom and turns it into a long-range assault cannon? Voronin squints at you suspiciously. I once believed that giving the device to Atom was the best option, but ever since the assault on Trudograd, I've begun to have my doubts. Can you imagine what would happen if Sioma Vradonok got his grubby paws on such a gadget? And Sioma isn't even the worst thing out there. Forgive me, but there is too much at stake to rely on your promises. The only way to guarantee humanity's survival is to destroy this thing. Please, step aside. Otherwise, I'll be forced to. With a practiced motion, Minister Voronin dons the huge helmet. It fixes to his armor with a soft hydraulic hiss. The last thing you see of the man's face before the steel shell obscures it completely is clear-eyed determination, the will to fight to the bitter end. With a hoarse sigh, Voronin shakes his head. Your words have touched him, even if he hasn't changed his mind. I confess, the Atom I used to know seemed to be in a very capable hand. But that was decades ago, in the world we lost thanks to weapons with less destructive potential than this magnetic cannon. How can I know the Atom of today is equally righteous? As I feared, your arguments are empty. I'm too practical a man to be swayed by dramatic words. Today, I will neutralize a threat far more terrible than the hordes of idiots wreaking havoc in the city above. If you choose to be eliminated as well, so be it. Silently, and with an almost inhuman synchronicity, Voronin's soldiers raise their weapons and scatter around the hall, assuming firing positions. Every motion conveys a professionalism and focus tempered in the fire of 100 battles. Agent, I have a dream of humanity reborn beneath a peaceful sky, of children who will never know war. That blissful world cannot come to be while machines like this exist, and while killers like you and I roam the earth.
After receiving the railgun coordinates, a special Atom unit was immediately dispatched to Trudograd, where they secured safe transportation of the device through an underground tunnel network. When the agents reached the city, this is what they found. Trudograd's officials survived and ultimately prevailed. With the city decisively won, the Old Guard launched a comprehensive campaign of destruction against both the revolutionary rebels and the remnants of the Northern Army. The opposition was annihilated, and the secret prison camps overflowed with their family members. However, Trudograd was not to remain a dystopian police state for long. After every threat to the status quo has been eliminated, the city returned to its old ways. The officials and their families continued to get richer and mostly ignored any official duties that didn't include new profits. As for the regular citizenry, they quietly returned to the familiar struggle, toiling away for the price of a meal and a place to sleep. After crushing the upstart revolutionaries, the city authorities transformed Seventh Heaven into an unconquerable fortress, armed with heavy artillery, surrounded by towering walls, defended by the wondrous inventions discovered on the depths below the inverter facility. The people of Trudograd continued their struggle to survive, while their rulers looked malignly down from their shining tower. Life, such as it was, went on. The Trudogradian division of Guangzhou Merchants Group survived the unrest without serious losses. More importantly, the profits they earned during the political struggle would become the stuff of legend. Widespread word of Guangzhou's business savvy would soon attract even more trade to the city. Once the ruling oligarchy and their private police had put down the rebellion and scattered the northern horde, Lieutenant Razin received a hero's welcome back in his old precinct. You stayed in touch with your former brother-in-arms, and last you heard, he was promoted to a special undercover unit committed to hunting down the few remaining survivors of the failed revolutionary movement. When the situation in Trudograd had calmed somewhat, your self-declared father insisted on remaining in the city to immortalize your recent adventures in a grand novel to be titled Comrade Railgun. While you never actually read the book, you later heard it acclaimed as the most beloved piece of literature ever written within Trudograd's walls, which unfortunately did not save Hexogen from being condemned to a life sentence a few months later. His follow-up essay urging Atom to level Trudograd so that humanity may return to a natural woodland habitat was not popular with the authorities. The elderly writer is now reputed to reside in a warm, comfy cell. His fellow political prisoners hail him as their spiritual leader and impatiently await his magnum opus, sadistically sentenced but not sodomized. As for you, after things had calmed somewhat in the city above, you rendezvoused with your fellow Atom members and led them to the railgun. Now, while watching the delegation's scientists prepare the weapon for transport, you cannot help but ponder the question that never seems to leave your mind. Can this rusty old cannon truly be humanity's last hope? Or was the adventure which touched so many lives in Trudograd just pointless busywork? It seems your quandary must go unanswered, at least for the time being. The freight train is fueled and ready to go, but there are still some checks to be passed before the convoy rolls off into the underground network. With nothing to do but wait for deployment, you decide to spend your last moments warming yourself at a burning barrel. A man is waiting there when you arrive. Short, hunchbacked and raggedy, he entered the bunker alongside the Atom aperitifs, and is now warming his bones by the fire. His face is completely concealed in the depths of a voluminous cowl, yet somehow you know he is smiling.